So, hey everyone, like I said, I realized that I was bad at programming. So, uh, I'll be doing 30 questions per day, and this is Ali John Merchant. Now, let's talk a bit about the game plan, what I plan to do, and how I'll accomplish this. So, like I said, I'll be following Striver's SD sheet, right? So, I'll either do one question per day or two questions per day. I'm not sure. But what I'm sure is that it's 6:45 a.m. right now, and I'll probably be coding until 9, right? And let's see what happens. Let's see. This is the first day. I have no expectations, but we'll see what happens. Okay, and yeah, so I'll be coding in Golang, right? And the reason for that is basically that right now in my company we use Golang, and I just think it will be a bit it'll be a good practice for me to be proficient in this. I will be googling syntax, right? So because I'm not very good at Golang yet, so I'll be googling syntax. I have a copy with a pen and paper, and probably will be thinking aloud. And let's see. So this is the first problem, and if I do it every day, I should reach linked list, right? Okay. So let's start. That's the first problem. Okay. Given a matrix, if an element in the matrix is 0, then you'll have to set its entire column and row to 0 and then return the matrix. Given a matrix, if an element in a matrix is 0, then you'll have to return its entire column and row into 0. Okay, so let's take an example of a matrix ये and तो इसका entire row और column 0 होगा and ये 0 है. So I presume this should be 0 and all the first ones should be 0. फिर ये 0 है, so this is already 0, and all of these, the last one should be 0. Okay, understood. So how am I thinking about solving this? Okay, so let me just copy this right over here. Right, and I'll just do this, probably this. Okay, so right now I'm thinking that what I'll do is first uh, I'll find the uh, row and column of the 0th element. Okay, or no, of the element that has 0. Okay, yeah, I'll store it in a 2D array, right, where like something like this, r comma c, and then I'll iterate through that array. I'll iterate through that array. I'll iterate through that array, and I'll make sure that that specific row and column is 0. So this is kind of what I think I can do. Okay, maybe it's a bit inefficient क्योंकि thinking about it, if I have a row and a column, right, and I'm iterating through it, it's possible that it has this, like for example here, right, uh, for here, for this, I have to set all of this to 0, right, and the second index is this. So this has already been set to 0, and when I'm using this, when I'm using this solution, I'll probably be setting this to 0 again. But let's see. We'll probably make it more efficient after it's working. So okay, let's start. I think I can do this. I think it's a int matrix is of maybe that's this matrix int. What's wrong? Okay, equals to, what's wrong with this? Okay, so as you can see, I'm very bad at Golang. 2D array Golang. Let's just do whatever. So this is how you make an 2D array, and just do matrix. Okay, and for this, let's just start with this example, right? I think because this is somewhat what we want already. So this and this. Okay, now we have to find the element that has 0. So let's just do for, I guess, for I, and acha, so we need a nested loop, and I think this should go towards the row. So matrix I mean, it's, I think it's this length matrix. Acha, there's one thing which I don't think is the case, that I don't know if it's a square matrix, right? I didn't see anywhere if it's a square matrix or not. If it will always remain a square matrix or it won't, but I'm assuming that the matrix will always be a square matrix, right? And then performing this. Okay, I mean, I don't have to assume it's always a square matrix. So what I can do is I'll do it for even if it's not a square matrix, right? Right, so now even if it's not a square matrix, it doesn't matter. I don't think so it will. Okay, I mean, if it's not a square matrix, right, then probably I'll also have to check if the row and column are I mean, if that row is done and that column exists in every line, meaning that if this is not present, right, so I can't, and this is 0, so I'll have to check if this exists, then probably I'll change it. Okay, right, okay, so now we have another 2D array called row and column, right? So I know I can do this, make something called make, right? What is this dx? Okay, slice, so I don't think I should be able. I should. Is there no easy way to like make a slice? Hmm. I don't think so. That's sad. Let's just say, uh, let's call it RC, right? Because obviously we want the rows in the column, and I think the total number of rows. I mean, I just have to gather the row and the column and append it to this, right? So for now, this can be length of matrix, right? Length of matrix, and this can be, yeah, I don't think I should even uh, length of matrix RC, right, less than, okay. So this is my resultant, say resultant. Okay, now if instead of 0 1 this equals to 0, then I have to call RC, and I have to say the I and j, because now I want, okay, so I want to store the row and column, right? So what do I do? Because I don't actually care, right? So what I can do is I can append. I can say, okay, I can append uh, RCI with something like this one. Okay, so what's the index? I guess I comma j. I don't know if this will work. It doesn't, apparently. So how about this, and let's just say this. Why is this not working? Okay, in fact this is not also working. I don't know why it's just uber confusing to work with 2D slices here, and I'm not actually liking that. Okay, so let's just say I want to, now I have to create like uh, temp, let's just create a temp RC, and what should be in the temp RC? It should be, first of all, it should be this, right? This, and inside this there should be I comma j, right? And it should be the length of matrix. Finally, because apparently I suck at Go, so that's how it's done. Now, for now, let's just fmt dot println rc. Okay, let's just see what's happening right now. I think what I'm doing wrong right now is I'm just pre doing this, but I don't want to pre do this. I just want to do this, right? Since it's a slice, I can like append later. I think so. What's wrong? I can do this. Okay. So I think this is done. Let's try this again. Okay. So it has a 0 0 and a 0 3. So a 0 0, then we have 0 1 0 2 0 3. Okay. So this is correct. And now let's just change this to see what happens. Yeah, 0 1 2 and 3. Okay, so this is working. Now we did this step. Now what we need to do is iterate through the array and make sure the specific row and column is 0. Okay, so let's make a func and call it row and column 0. Very original and very beautifully named function. And let's just take in matrix, and that will be a pointer for a 2D int, right? And then again and then we'll take RC RC can be a copy because it can be a pointer or a deep copy, and just I'm just going to use like a copy because I don't see any reason not to, right? And it's just better to work with this and instead of working with you know pointers, right? And this should be a pointer because obviously I'm going to append this and I want to return this, or maybe even this shouldn't be a pointer, and I'll just return the result. Okay, I'll just return uh, this, right? So no need to use pointers. Okay, now now I have a matrix. Okay, now I have this, and what I can do is for each entry, yeah, for each entry in RC, I can call row and column 0, pass it the matrix, and RC itself. Okay, and I can set it equal to matrix equal to this, and you know what I'm thinking right now, I'll just update RC too, right? So update intent and update RC. You know why? No, I don't think I should update RC because it's probably going to go through this. Okay, it's fine. This is fine. Okay, so for the length of RC, I go through each row and column and make it 0. Okay, so first I'll have to make row 0, make row 0, and how I'll do that is basically, I know this stores row and column, right? So 0th row, right, and 0th column, and 0th row and 3rd column. So the first one is row, right? So what I can do is I can make row 0, and for that I'll just need a for loop for the length of that specific row in the matrix, right? And instead of this, I think I'll just have this, and I'll just go RCI. Okay, so length of matrix. Acha, so what I have to do is I have to, for example, if it's the 0th row, right? So I have to have the length of the 0th row. So 0th row, and I have to make it 0. So how do I get to that specific row? I already have the row stored. Okay, so let's just say RC 0, right? So what this will do is it will go towards, it will give me the length of, like for example, if it's 2, okay, or no, if it's 0, right? So it will give me the length of 1 2 3, it will give me the length of 3, right, from 0. So it will iterate 3 times, and I can say, let's just say matrix Ci equals to 0, right? So this makes the row 0, and similarly I want to make the column 0. So I'll say uh, column 0, and da 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 da, da. Yes. Okay, now the issue I'm running into is I can't directly say the length of the column, right? Because columns go like this, 1 2 3, right? So again, I can't actually have the length of the column. So how do I calculate the length of the column? I don't think I have to calculate the length of the column, because I'll just go with the length of the matrix right now, and if there exists a column, right? So what I'll do is I'll just go with the length of the matrix right now, length of the matrix, okay? And if there exists a column, right? So if matrix I, that means the ith row, this one, and I already know the column number. The column number will be RC1, right? Equals is not equal to nil, is not equal to nil, right? Because obviously it can be nil, meaning cannot convert type. That's interesting. I mean, so how should I check? Okay, so let's just see. Let's just say if matrix I is key has a length, if length of matrix I, right, is greater than or equals to whatever my column is, right? I think I'm making a mistake here, but whatever. This, what do you think? Okay, let's just go over this, what will happen. So I'm saying if the length of the ith row, that means the length of any of these rows is greater than or equals to my I, right? And what the I is the index. I have to keep in mind the I is the index, right? And the length will always be greater than the index, right? So let's just say this is 1, this is I, right? And this is I, and this is 0. So the length should be, I mean, 1 2 3 4, and the fourth element, what I want is I have to check if this is 3 and this is 4, right? So ski length is 4, ski length is 4, ski length is 4, right? And let's just say ski length would be 3 if in any case this is 3, right? So it will say I want to access I equals to 3, I equals to 3, and the length is 3. So the length should not be equals to, the length should be greater than, right? Okay, this length is 3, and I mean, you get the point. Okay. Okay. Index out of index out of range 2 with length 2. Okay, so this is basically what I wanted to check here. Why is the hell is this? Okay. Oh, my bad, my bad. Okay. So RC1 and RC1, and okay. We let's just say print matrix. No, no RC1. Let's just run. I mean, that is what should be happening basically, and it's the answer should be, yeah. So I think that's done. So I don't know how much time this took. but it took a lot of time, more than I wanted to, because I'm not really familiar with the Go syntax. And I have like it's 7, right? So I have like 1 more hour of doing this. So what I can do is I can just review what I could have done better. What is the better approach? Oh yeah. So we already are doing the better approach, right? Obviously, this is because I'm very very smart. I'm very very smart, even though it took me 1 hour to do this. Okay, so there is an optimal approach too. Let's see. Is the minimal traversal rate so Okay, so let's just look at it. First, we traverse the matrix and mark the proper cells of the first and I and j contain 0 will mark the ith row. Okay, so I'm not going to go through this because this is boring. Yeah, this is boring, so I'm not going to go through this. I'm sorry. Okay, what's the next thing? Let's just do another one. Actually, I don't want to do another one, I'm already tired, but let's just do another one. Given row number r and column number c, print the element at position rc in Pascal's triangle. I mean, this is interesting. Yeah, I mean, I like this. This seems interesting. Okay, so let's just start with this. Input format n equals to 5, r equals to 5, c equals to 3. What is n, r, and c? This should be r, obviously, row 1, row 2, and these are the columns, I think. I mean, that's confusing a bit. Horizontal rows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, and so how am I deciding the column? Is it the column of like the maximum column? I think it is that, and c equals to 3. C is the thing I want to get, right? So let's just say the result will be 6. Why? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So do I have to create this triangle every time? I mean, that doesn't seem like fun, right? And I think it's adding on stuff, right? So 1 plus 1, and this is 1 plus 2, and this is 1 plus 3, so this will be 1 plus 4. So okay, so I assume that this will always be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, something along the line of this, right? Okay, so I think and this is 1, 3, 6, and this is 1, 4. Okay, so I think there is a pattern to this, and obviously there is, but I want to find like the easier pattern, okay, without like traversal. So right now I'm using my copy pencil, right? So let's just say I have 1, right? The next one will always be 1, 1. Then the Pascal triangle comes in, and it's 1, then there is, so 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1, which is a 2, and 1, and then there is this, which is 1, and 1 plus 2, which is a 3, and a 3, this is confusing, man. 1 1 1 1 2 1 1 3 3 1, and then 1, 3 plus 1 is 4. Okay, so I don't understand what is it adding to. So the last one is 3 plus 1, then it's 3 plus 3. Okay, so it's a resultant of the okay, I understand, now I understand. So it's 4 plus 1, it's 3, and 3 plus 3 will be 6, and 3 plus 1 will again be 4, right? And let's just continue and see and there's always a 1 at the end, so it will be 1, and 4 plus 1 is 5, and 4 6 7 8 9 10, that will be a 10, and 4 plus 6 will be again a 10, and this will be a 5, this will be a 1. Okay, and then there's a 1, there's the 6, there's 15, there's 20, there's 15, and then there's 6, then there's a 1. This is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Yep, here we can do it like, I think this is better. 0 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, I know I'm just looking at the screen right now. Let me just do it in a way that it's good. How should I even, my god. I'll probably divide it into folder structures later, but right now I'm doing this. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out a pattern if I can, right? Like if I look at this, okay, so it's here, this is this, and if I go further, it's basically 1, then 5, then 10, then 10, then 5, then 1, and then it's 1, then 6, then 15, 1, then 6, then 15, then 20, then 15, then 6, then 1. Okay, and let's just say this is the 0th column, right? This is the first column, this is the second column, right? This is the third column, this is the fourth column, this is the fifth column, and this is the sixth column. Okay, so if we want column uh, like the cth element, right? The c is 3. So what is 3 here? The output is 6. Why is this 6? Because c rc. Okay, so c is basically the row. Okay, so the third, so we have to present it in the, so what we need is this, the last one. Okay, and we need the cth element in the last one. Okay, so I know that if c equals to either, if c equals to 1 or c double equals to r, c double equals to r, then I can just return, then I can just return 1, or because if c equals to 1, then I can just, okay, let's just do this. If c equals to 1, then I can return 1, right? If c equals to 1, or let's just say, or c double equals to 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3 4 5. That's a good coincidence, because obviously if c equals to r, so sixth row 0 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? If equals to r, I can just return 1, because I know that's how it works. So I can just return 1, right? Or better yet, I can just go fmt.println, and I can just go 1, right? And I know if c is equals to either 2 or, where's the or c equals double equals to r minus 1, right? I can go, nope, I can go print it, whatever the row is, I can print it the row, right? Because 6 and 6, and it's a 6th row. Okay, now these two out of the way, let's just see if there's a pattern to this. I understand that it comes from above, and probably some recursion will help, but I'm looking for a direct pattern. For example, okay, let me be a bit clear. So 5, right? Probably a bit of dynamic programming too, because I already know that these both will be equal. If it's even, if it's an even number, then both of then these will be equal. If it's odd, then the middle ones will be equal. I mean, I understand that, but the issue is of 15, 20 and 15, right? So how do I solve this? Is there a way to do this directly without knowing all of this? So 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. Okay, let's just see, how did I come about 3? It's the third row. Okay, how did I come about 5? And it doesn't make sense, because 6 plus 6 equals to 12, and this is 15. Okay, so this is a bit harder than I thought. What can I do? What can I do? 6, 15, 20, 15, 6 and 1. So okay, so if this is 2, then I can say in the pyramid, okay, let's just go to a pyramid. It's like 2, 3, 4, and then there will be a 5 and a 6. And similarly, if I go from this, so 6, then there will be a 10, and then there will be a 15. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and it just adds up. But that's of no use. Should I look at a hint? Let's just, okay, this is an NCR NPR. Sorry man, I was never good at maths, so it's not my problem. Okay, but I just don't like this approach. I'm not going to go with this. I'm going to go with something else. 1, what's the difference between these two? 4, the difference is 3, right? 6 minus 1, the difference is 5, right? So the difference is 5, and 6 minus 15. Okay, so let's just see. This 6 minus 15, difference is 9. Okay, and 15 minus 20, 15 minus 20, the difference is 5, and similarly 20 minus 15, the difference is 5, and 15 minus 6, the difference is 9. 15 minus 6, the difference is 9. That makes sense. And how about the other one? Difference is 4, difference is 5, difference is 0, difference is 5, difference is 4. Okay, let's say 4 minus 1, the difference is 3. Okay, so I couldn't, after a long time, I still couldn't find a pattern, right? And couldn't find a pattern, so I'm just going to solve this recursively. So that's what I've decided. Okay, I don't think this is the, I think there should be a better way to do this than recursive, but let's just say that's all I could find right now. Okay, and this is the last one I'm doing because I'm tired. So that's it. Okay, I haven't done recursion in very long, so I actually don't even know how this is going to turn out, honestly. And I've never done recursion in Go, so that will be interesting too. Okay, so what I want to do is, let me just write a pseudo code here. So I know the return statement should be something like, uh, let's just say C, right? I have, let's just say R and C. Okay, so let's just say func, and let's just give it let's just say find C, and let's just say R comma C, and R. Okay, so R is an int and C is an int, and let's just say it returns an int every time. I guess that's fine, right? And return, basically I'll return, uh, so let's just say row and call, right? So if I want to find C equals to 3, right, so the call will look something like this, that R, I mean the current row. Okay, for example, I want to find 15, right? So it will be, I want to find 3. Okay, so it will start with so it would start with R minus, it will start with, okay, so how do we come about 3? 3 is basically this, 1 up and 1 up, so it's row minus 1, row minus 1, 2, right? So the second thing, and basically plus row minus 1, 3, right? So that's, and then row minus 2 is calculated by, so you get the point what I'm trying to say, right? So let's just say R should return 1, find C, right? Because every time it's a row, column, and C, which is int. Okay, so it's R minus 1, right? Row minus 1, row minus 1, and then there is a column minus 1, and now the C will be C minus 1, right? And no, I think C will remain the same, obviously, because I still have to find. No, because this is the addition of this C and basically this is the addition of this is the addition of first row, right? And this is the addition of row minus 1. I mean, if I want 15, right? So then I'm looking at C2 of row 1 plus C3 of row before that, right? So instead of call, let's just go C, and I say row minus 1, C minus 1, right? Plus find C, row minus 1 and C, okay? And I should say if C, I mean C was 3, right? No, so let's just say if row double equals to, so for example I'm starting with 1 2 3 0 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? So if this equals to 0, then return 1. Honestly, I'm not even sure what's going to happen, right? So I mean, let's just hope for the best, I guess. not not the not the most but whatever, okay? So we have an R and a C. Let's just copy it from here. So let's just say, what's N? What was N again? Yeah, so we're doing this, so this will actually return the last one. There's no need for an N, so we just go R and C, right? We just say, so we do this, and then let's just do this, okay? And we do this. Yeah, I know. This I actually don't have a clue what's going to happen, but I have a rough idea of why I did this. So let's see. 32. Wow. This shouldn't have been 32. So I'm going to randomly do this to 1. Don't ask me why I'm doing this, because this is just stupid intuition. So what's actually happening? Let's look at this. Okay, maybe because there was no breakpoints. Let's try this again. with breakpoints. Okay, now let's see what happens. We have row 5 and this is 5, right? Let's just go 5 and 3. So we should have an other call. Now we have 4 and 2, right? And now we have 1 and 3. Then we have 2 and 0. And we have -1. Okay, so C becomes -1, which I don't think should be happening because there is no -1C. So how do I even... Okay, so the issue is C is becoming -1, and I think if C equals to 0, right? So basically, C remains the same. Row equals to 0, return 1. Woohoo! It works! It works! I'm a genius! I'm a genius! My god, I'm a genius. I'm a genius. It works. I'm a genius. There's nobody more smart than me, and that's it. I'm not even going to look at the other solutions. I'm done with this. Uh, bye bye. Nice meeting you guys. Thank you for sticking, and I'll just end this and